Among them, the suggestion that children are being removed from homes and hastily put up for adoption to make extra money for the state through federal adoption reimbursements. In the entire justice system, there may be nothing more gut-wrenching, more life-affecting for everyone involved than taking somebody's children away. Earlier, in Part 1, we showed you how a woman lost her children in a 17-minute hearing with no proof of parental wrongdoing and only one witness, the caseworker. Now, a look at several other disturbing allegations, from fast-track adoptions just to make bonus money to special orders for white children.
Anyone that had an opinion that was contrary to their goal of adoption, that information was suppressed.
The complaints keep pouring in, alleging egregious conduct by Child Protective Services. This woman's children were taken away and sent to a foster family that moved to Peoria, Illinois. This woman has learned the state-licensed counselor who testified against her in her child custody case has been charged with 9 counts of practicing psychology without a license. She says her CPS caseworker pretended to be her advocate, then turned on her when it counted.
Her whole report is false, and as you read it, and as you read my complaint against her, you can tell that she fashioned her answers after the fact to cover herself.
Same kind of complaint from this man.
When CPS comes in there, they basically do have the say-so over where those kids are going to go.
1 year ago, after our investigation of alleged CPS abuses like this one, where a Hardin County couple's newborn was taken right out of the hospital before the parents even had a chance to do anything wrong, we asked the woman in charge of the caseworkers what criteria is necessary to take children away from parents.
We have to be able to prove and swear before the judge that the child is at imminent risk of death, serious injury, sexual abuse, something that is just egregious.
But according to the Foster Care Review Board's 2004 annual report, child abuse accounts for only 11% of the reasons why children are removed from biological homes. The overwhelming majority, 77%, come from cases of neglect or dependency, which often stem from economic or substance abuse problems.
We were troubled by what we saw.
The nonprofit watchdog group Kentucky Youth Advocates noticed a radical spike in CPS complaints after our investigation aired last year, so KYA launched an investigation of its own, interviewing hundreds of parents and workers. It concluded too many neglected children and their families are treated in deplorable ways by caseworkers whose attitudes are often hateful, rude, or outright hostile. It found biological parents are not given a fair shake and adoptions are expedited much too quickly. In fact, KYA calls it a stacked deck against parents, with rapid investigations leading to premature removal of children through unrealistic case plans and goals that may seem impossible for many families to meet. Which begs the question, why is this happening?
With recent changes at the federal level, state government gets reimbursements based upon the rate of adoptions.
In the most disturbing suggestion in this report, the explanation may be that adoptions are fast-tracked to bring Kentucky more federal money from federal adoption reimbursements. In 2004, finalized adoptions in Kentucky ballooned to 724, while the federal bonus money more than doubled from $452,000 the year before to more than $1 million.
Do we have specific evidence that that is what is happening? No. Did we receive enough information and data and stories? When we looked at trend lines, was there enough of a difference to cause us concerns? Yes.
And that's not all. KYA heard troubling eyewitness accounts of how many adoptions are handled.
We certainly have lots of calls from CPS employees who are alleging that adoptions are race-based, that Caucasian kids get preferential treatment over minority children. We got lots of calls that suggested that in some parts of the state, adoptions were tinged with political favoritism. We got lots of quotes about, I heard so-and-so saying, well, this person deserves that white infant.
An independent task force is being put together made up of people like Terry Brooks to look into these issues. The State Inspector General is also now investigating these allegations. After the Inspector General of Kentucky, in this report, documented widespread abuses within the child protection system. Tonight, we continue our 3-year-long investigation of Kentucky CPS with a closer look at one of the hundreds of complaints we continue receiving about CPS, because in this case, even the social workers are troubled about what they repeatedly call suspicious conduct by their colleagues in the region already under fire in the Inspector General's report.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth before the court in this matter here today?
The room is small, the video is poor, but what's on the line here couldn't be clearer or bigger.
All of a sudden, she called in and said, remove those kids.
This is confidential family court tape given to us by Linda Roberts because she wants people to see how the secretive system works. She originally had her 4 children taken away after her ex-husband sexually assaulted one of them.
It was a very heart-wrenching thing to do. You know, after I'd worked so hard to get them back, and then, you know, for no good reason to take them away again, it was very difficult.
The next time they were taken away, she didn't get a hearing to defend herself within 72 hours, as required by law.
They were just in shock, you know, to come home and pick up a few things and go away.
Now she's in family court, first defending an allegation that she spanked her daughter with a belt.
Mom did spank her, and that she had on 2 layers of clothes. Mom made her remove 1 layer of clothing, and Mom hit her once or twice on the bottom, that she did not have any marks on her.
The school system never saw any marks on the children either, so the CPS social worker ruled the physical abuse allegation unsubstantiated. Then Roberts was also accused of neglect for allegedly leaving her children home alone.
The children stated to me that they're not left home alone.
The Louisville CPS workers also determined this allegation is unsubstantiated, in large part because of this note from a supervisor giving the single working mom permission to leave the children with their 16-year-old sibling for short periods of time in emergencies, which she did. In fact, the Louisville-based social workers take Roberts' side as a success story.
Miss Roberts appears to me to go above and beyond with the kids because she has them in the child enrichment program, and she takes them to school, and she works, and when they get out of school, they go their bus directly to the program. She picks them up after school. And we have letters from supervisors, directors, neighbors, co-workers, all stating and attesting to the fact that whenever they see Miss Roberts, they see her kids. And that the neighbors say that they've never seen the kids home alone.
But Judge Shan Embry rules differently because of this previous court order, which says the children may only be left with their older adult siblings when not in the care of their mother. Linda Roberts is found in contempt because the younger siblings were left with a 16-year-old on 4 or 5 occasions. The judge also finds the children were all physically disciplined by Linda Roberts with a belt and switch on numerous occasions. And the final reason cited by the judge for taking Roberts' children, leaving 3 of her children alone in the Lizard Bay pool at Disney World for at least 30 minutes while she was looking for another child who got lost.
They go by what they want to do, irregardless of the law.
While that ruling outraged Roberts, something else that happened in the case was disturbing even to social workers. A supervisor in the Louisville office details what she calls suspicious conduct in the Meade County CPS office, where the case against Roberts originated.
The case file was not there, and we don't know where the case file went. Once we started requesting the record, the phone call stopped. We didn't get any phone calls back.
The case file that contained records supporting Linda Roberts disappeared, while the information against her got forwarded to Louisville when the case got transferred. Then Louisville investigators learned the Meade County investigator who executed the initial affidavit alleging contempt is the best friend of the temporary custodian's mother-in-law.
That started raising some suspicion about what the agenda might be or if there was some other involvement.
And if CPS supervisors in Louisville are concerned and suspicious of how this case was handled, you can imagine how Roberts feels.
They can pull strings and do things, and files can disappear, you know, and reports can be made, and children can be snatched out of the home without even a hearing. In many ways, they just make their own decisions, and it's not based upon legal grounds, and nobody's doing anything about it.
I tried to reach the judge last week. So far, no comment from her. Tonight at 11, 3 former state social workers sit down and talk to us with some disturbing things to say, one of whom just won a $380,000 settlement in her lawsuit against them.
you get praised. The cabinet praises you.